Welcome to 800 Pound Gorilla's Album of the Week podcast. My name is Paige, and this week we are highlighting Fabrizio Copano's album, From the Future. Fabrizio is one of the most well-known stand-up comedians in Latin America, and From the Future is his hilarious first English language special. Enjoy this sharp, fast-paced ride through the immigrant experience, millennial parenting, and the absurdity of living between two cultures.
I'm from Chile. It's okay. I know all of you have no idea where is that, and there's a lot of immigrants that get upset when people don't know where is their country. I don't care. I mean, I don't know where is Delaware. I don't even think that is real, honestly. I mean, I moved to this country in 2016, but first I used to live in Mexico. I like Mexico a lot. It's just there are weird things about Mexico. I remember like El Chavo, you know, this TV show they have there. I mean, the weird thing is like it was a TV show about a group of old people dressed like kids, pretending to be poor. It was like Williamsburg. That joke is so specific to this group of people, you know? I don't know if anyone outside of this room can understand what I just said, but I am married, and now I have a wife, and so I'm here forever. And I don't have sex either. But I'm fine with it because I think like the closer I have to fuck every week is when I return the city bike. You know when you're returning the bike and it's not coming in, and it feels like you're fucking with something. And then when it works, it's like an orgasm to me. It's the closest I have to pleasure during the week. We and my wife, we watched the movie Oppenheimer the other day. You know this movie? The ones who don't know, this movie is about the guy who came up with the atomic bomb and who killed thousands of people. And I was watching this movie with her, and there's a scene when Oppenheimer cheated on his wife. You know, and I was watching with my wife, and she looked at the movie, and she was like, "Oh, what a monster." And I was like, "That's not why." He came up with the atomic bomb. And here's where you draw the line. This is like, this is too much. It's too much. No, I love her. She's great. And when we have arguments, I try to fight in English, but it's a bad idea because of course she's gonna win. You know, she have more language than me, and I mean, because my brain started melting, you know, I just try to stay in English, and I'm like, yeah, I know, blah, blah, la concha tu madre. I mean, it's like I can. I just try really hard, but I can't. But I have to say also, like, I think Spanish is a better language for arguments, you know? Because we have many more ways to insult each other. It's more musical in a certain way, you know. We have like a full keyboard of sounds to insult each other. We're like concha tu madre, hijo puta. I mean, in this country, just have like one, you know. It's like fuck. You know, people's like fuck. When we get really angry, it's like fuck you. It's not a big deal, you know. It's not that impressive. My wife is from Texas. You guys ever been to Texas?
Yeah.
Okay, a few of you. It's great, I think. No, Texas is good. I like Texas. It's just a weird place for me because I'm Latino. And Texas is one of the few places in the world where they hate Latinos and they are Latinos. I don't know how they do this, but you talk with anyone there and they're like, oh, these goddamn immigrants. What's your name, sir? Jorge Gutierrez. You just hate yourself. That's all. Yeah, her family is great. They're super ignorant. Not all of them. But her stepdad. And he said to me once during dinner, he was like, "Hey, in your shows, don't make joke about this country. Remember, you're not American." And he said, "American? You know these people? Like I thought it was just a joke, you know, like a meme or something. But there's real people out there that have a stroke when they say the name of this country. There's real people that are like dying. What the fuck is that? Like, it's not normal. There's no other countries trying this, you know? There's no like, Croatia. Like, no one else is doing this, you know? And if you decided to do it, you have to commit to that for the rest of your life. You have to be like, how are you gonna pay? The American Express. You can't stop one day. It's forever. And I have to say that makes me a little bit upset, this idea that people call this country America, because in Latin America we call each other Americans too, because that's the name of the continent. And it's kind of awkward that you guys decided to take the name one day and no one complains about it. This is like if one of the Avengers decided to call himself the Avenger. And the rest of the group is like, wait, what? That's not how it works, man. When we all together, we are the Avengers. And this guy's like, no. Listen to me. I am the Avenger. I have anti-vaxxers in my family. Any anti-vaxxers in the room? Oh, they're all dead. Yeah. No, they're not all dead. They're in the comment section right now writing. They're very angry. I have anti-vaxxers in my family, and for me it's weird being an anti-vaxxer. First of all, because I'm Latino, and if something is free, I'll just take it. Complaining for free shit is not part of my culture. So, but I was curious, why you don't want the vaccine? And one of them, members of my white family, said to me, I don't want the vaccine because Bill Gates is trying to put a microchip in my brain to control my mind. I don't know if you remember that conspiracy theory. And I was like, if you think that Bill Gates is trying to control your mind, you should let Bill Gates to control your mind. He's way smarter than you. This is a chance for improvement. This is good news for you and your family. Congratulations. And by the way, I don't think it's that bad to be mind controlled. I don't think it's that bad, honestly. I mean, for a week. One solid week of no thinking. I mean, especially when you try to look for a movie on Netflix. And you're there for hours trying to find something. I think it would be nice if a voice in your brain is like, Shrek 2. So you can go like, thank you, Mr. Gates. Appreciate your love for fine cinema.
Need to satisfy your comedy craving? Head to 800pgm.com and check out hundreds of comedy albums and video specials. And don't forget to subscribe to 800 Pound Gorilla's YouTube channel for new content every week.
I was in Mexico and I met Christina, my wife, and when we met each other, I lied to her, because that's how relationships start. You lie, you try to sell yourself as someone who is good, and then there's the reality and disappointment and depression, and if you stay together, that's real love. But at the time, I was lying about being like a real man. Being like, hey, I'll take care of everything. We should move to the U.S. and I'll take care of the whole thing. So I rent a truck, I rent a U-Haul, and I put all her Mexican furniture, her Mexican dog. I drove from Mexico City to New York City, and that's an insane amount of driving. Like, if you feel so powerful when you drive a truck. I mean, first of all, I feel like my dick was connected to the truck. I feel it was an extension of my dick in a weird way. And it felt like so right-wing conservative the whole time. I was so angry. I really wanted to like run over an immigrant. I was sick. I don't know why this truck has this energy. I just really want to fucking killing a Venezuelan. I don't agree with this. It's just the truck have this energy. So I was driving this U-Haul and I saw the border. And I started thinking what I'm doing here. Because at the time, it was just a Chilean guy with a tourist visa driving a U-Haul full of Mexican furniture and a Mexican dog with no connection to me, This was just a girlfriend at the time. And I was like, how am I going to explain this to this border patrol, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm a tourist. But I brought the furniture in case I need to sit down and look around to your beautiful country. So I started getting nervous, what I was supposed to say, I was sweating and shit. And the dog looked at me and he was like, we're fucked. He was like, we're fucked, my man. You know how hard it's for a dog to do this, you know? Like, it was like the little hand. He was like, we're fucked. I was like, shut up, you're a dog. You shouldn't be talking to me. And he was like, I'm not a dog. I'm actually a Mexican man who's been dressed like a dog for 8 years, waiting for this moment to cross the border and reunite with my family. And you fucked this up for me. Pinche pendejo, güey. So I just ignored this man, and I kept driving to the border, and the border patrol was a really old man, and I was like, oh, that's why everyone is crossing to this country. They just pushed this old man and just kept running. I have to say something, like I mean, people from this country, when they age really poorly. I'm sorry. I mean, your parents, they're not aging great. It's just there's something about the water in their faces that is just gone. There's something about, I don't know, it's just like at 45, it's like they just get super dry. I mean, we age better. Like, I think Latinos, we age more gracefully. I mean, or mothers or grandmothers, they don't get wrinkles, they just shrink. It's the same person who starts shrinking every month. You know, shrinking until one day they disappear. That's how Latino women die. They go to heaven, like with a lot of other ladies. Hola, sí, ¿cómo está, señora? With a bunch of plastic bags, because they love plastic bags so much. Why? Why they love plastic bags so much? And this is the thing. I was there at the border, remember? And it was this guy checking every truck, you know, opening every door, and it was my turn, and I was very nervous, and he looked through the window, and he saw my face, and he looked at the dog, and back to me, and he was like, "Okay, you can go," and that's when I realized that I'm white. I'm a white man in this country, man. I fucking did it. I'm a white dude. Since that day, I'm not paying taxes anymore. And I'm just jerking off listening to NPR. I love it. The first thing I did when I moved here, a friend of mine invited me to an escape room. And at the time, there was not a lot of escape rooms in Latin America because escaping from a place is not fun. What kind of ultimate privilege is paying to escape from a place for entertainment? It's not wild to decide to do that. But this guy invited us to an escape room, and we were doing this thing, you know, like you have to like go to a room and find the clues and open a door and go to the next room. And we find the clues for the first room and get to the second one, and the game broke in the middle of the thing. And slowly a guy shows up, like underneath the desk, and he's like, "Sorry guys, I work here. The game is not working anymore." And I was like, maybe this is part of the game. And he was like, "No. I work here. My name is Ryan, and I have a voucher for you guys so you guys can come back." And I checked the voucher, and there was a number in the voucher. And I was like, maybe this number is the number that will open the door. And he was like, "No, the door is open. The game is not working." So I opened the door, and I won the game.
Going back to being Latino,
You know, I feel like all our countries are very different, but we have one thing in common. We all hate each other. And we hate Argentina a little bit more. But no one knew this before, you know? This is new information for Americans. The reason why is because they had a pope, and I think it's kind of weird. I think it's kind of weird that the representation of God on earth was an Argentinian old man And I remember thinking like the Pope was important because he was an old man speaking in a weird language that we didn't understand. So when he was on the news, it was always like Pater Nostrum Estum Latum. And you were like, yeah, that's how God probably speaks. Do you know? But it's kind of weird because then it was like, ¿Cómo está lo pibe? You know, that makes no sense to me. Like, so how is God talking back to him? It's like, recen puto, dale. And the weird thing is like, yeah, of course, or my grandmother was a big fan of the Pope. She liked every Pope except from one. You remember like Benedict? Look at, like you're booing a guy who's dead, by the way. But no one liked this guy. He was the worst Pope ever. And yeah, he was like the worst season of the Pope show. Like, no one paid attention to him. And you know what was worried about this guy? He was ugly. And you don't have to be good looking to be the Pope, but he was specifically the ugliest Pope ever. And you know, he was like so bad at being Pope that he was fired from being the Pope. He was still alive. He didn't die. How you find a job if your last job was being the Pope? I mean, there was someone with a resume like, okay, so you used to work as the Pope. Why you want to work in this 7-Eleven? What is the thing? We have kids. We have a 5-year-old kid. Clap if you have kids. Okay, now clap if you don't have kids. Okay, you don't have to celebrate that you don't have kids. I just wanted to know how many people didn't have kids. You don't have to. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's a lot of fun tonight, but you're gonna die alone. But no, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Whatever. Like, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. No, we already blew it. But no, I have a 5-year-old, and he's great. But he's in that age. He have a lot of energy. And kids of that age, there's still a way to stop them, you know? Morphine or the phone, you know? And you know that the phone is bad for them. You know that it's poison for their brains, but it's so effective. You know that if you give a kid a phone and you, I don't know, take a walk for 3 days, and you come back, he's gonna be in the same spot. And he's probably gonna learn how to fish or something, you know? But I know that it's bad for him. I know, but at the same time, you have to find a balance in life, you know? You know that every minute you have the phone, he's getting dumber and dumber. But you have to be okay with it, you know? It's like, well, he's not gonna learn math, but I'm gonna finish this movie. You can't have everything in life, you know? I don't like to give him the phone, but sometimes we have done it. We were at a restaurant the other night, and we were like, okay, 5 minutes. You can have the phone for 5 minutes. And of course, they go to the darkest places on the internet right away. I don't know how they do it, but you're like, okay, you can watch 5 minutes of Baby Shark. A minute later, he's watching a shark eating a baby. I don't know how. I was like, okay, let's try to have a conversation. Let's try to pretend we still love each other while he's checking this video. And a little lady from another table just came running. She's like, beep, 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 beep. And sit down right next to my boy and start watching this video. And her mom just came running, like very angry. She came running, just grabbed the girl, and she's like, no, we don't do that. And we were like, what the fuck is wrong with this woman? I know what we're doing is wrong, but like, don't say it out loud, you know? Don't judge your style of parenting in a restaurant, motherfucker. Like, and I look at this woman's face, and she was like the Oscar-winning actress Anne Hathaway. And I was like, calm down. It's not the shitty movie The Princess Diary. Of course I didn't say that. I was like, thank you for looking me in the eye. Please insult me more. I so stupid. I think it's at that age they're so weird because they don't share any information about what's going on in their lives. You know, like in school specifically. Like every time I pick up my son from school, I'm like, hey, how was your day? And he's like, I don't remember. And he's like, how? I mean, you should remember everything. You're a kid. I just pick you up, and your brain is new. You have so much storage in your brain. But he's like, I don't remember. But the weirdest thing is, like, 3 hours later, he shared a piece of information about his day with no context. You know, we're doing something else. I don't know, we're having dinner. And he's suddenly like, Ryan cried. And it's like, what happened to Ryan? And he's like, I don't remember. So we think he killed Ryan. I think he's in a cult. That's all. That's what he's not sharing. I consider myself a good dad, but I have too many kids. I have 3 kids. I don't know if you know this, but I have 3 kids. I don't look like a guy with 3 kids, I have to say. If I'm walking down the street, I don't look like a guy with 1 kid. I don't even look straight. Why have 3 kids? It's an insane amount of kids, you know? It's not good for the environment. It's not good for the planet. And I love them, but there are too many. And when we got the news, we were in shock, you know, because we were at the doctor, and the doctor was doing the sonogram, and I have to say, like, every sonogram is the same picture. It's just one picture in the history of sonograms. They've been shared to everyone because it's always the same fetus, like, you know, like this. Remember, like, the 3D ones? Remember, like, at some point, they were like McNugget babies, looking disgusting. And we were doing this sonogram, and the doctor here in New York, she was like, "Oh, there's a baby." We were like, "Eh." And then she was like, "Wait, there's another one." And we were like, "Oh." And she looked her faces of fear, and she was like, "Calm down. There's still something we can do about it." And I was like, "Wait, what?" She was like, "Still early in the development, and we can do something about it here in the state of New York." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And she said this. She was like, "We can get rid of one of the kids." I know. I immediately said I think it should be my oldest child. He already been around for a couple of years. I think it's kind of fair that he stepped down for the next generation. He's kind of like the Joe Biden of my family. We push him out of the ticket. I've been thinking a lot about abortion lately. Unrelated. I've been thinking that, I mean, it's kind of funny that this country used to have like a system of abortion that we thought it was the right way to go, and now it's all back to the system that we have in our countries. And you guys fucked it up, you know? And I've been thinking how to fix it, and I think I'm the right person. I think this is the right place and the right night to fix abortion in America. So we can move on. I've been thinking that maybe the problem with abortion is we look at this as a moral issue, and I think it's more like a marketing problem. I think we should like rebrand abortion, you know, for the right, you know, for conservative people. I mean, if we change the name of abortion for something that they would like, maybe they will join us, you know? Instead of call it abortion, let's just call it budget cuts. Or downsizing. Or my favorite one, let some people go.
It's not my problem. I like being a dad.
I think it's fun. But my favorite thing to do is turning off the lights of the house. It feels so good, just going to a room and be like, no. Something about that, it feels like you feel you have some power over them, you know? You're like the sun, you know? You're like, you give life or take it away, you know? You're like, not anymore. It's over, you know? And my kids are like, we're learning how to read. Not tonight. Because you feel you're saving money, and it's not a lot of money, but it makes you feel like you're doing some shit, you know? Taking care of shit, you know? I love it. I just love turning off the lights. My favorite thing to do, I have to say, is turning off the TV when he's really enjoying something, you know? In the middle of his favorite show, like that's my favorite thing to do. But I'm so afraid of him, I have to do it from the other room, you know? I'm like, here we go. 3, 2, 1, but I just love it. I love that because my dad was so good at this. My dad was the best
At turning off the lights.
He was so good that he went to Home Depot and he got a bunch of these motion sensor lights. You know these lights that, I don't know, like there's a cat outdoors and you just, you know, they turn on. And he got 6 of them and he put them inside of the house. And it was so insane because we were having dinner and suddenly it was like, the lights were off and we have to be like this. Every single day. And I was 16 at the time. So he was able to tell when I hit puberty immediately. Because the lights of my room were like da 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 da. Because I was jerking off inside. That's what happened. Sorry for over-explaining, but I feel like some of you were confused about why there's a rave party inside of that room. I'm telling you this because my dad passed away 3 months ago. He just died, 3 months and a half, and of course I'm still in shock. You know, it's very sad. And I don't know I don't know if anyone here have any relative that die, and one of the worst thing is you have to buy a coffin, and you're not ready for this. No one is ready for this, because you're in shock, and you have to go and buy the box to put someone you love inside, and it's not cheap. And you sit down with a woman who show you like a menu of of different coffins. And there was a cheap one, you know, like it was like $300. It was like an Amazon box. And then you have a very expensive one, you know, like $5,000 or $7,000 that comes with Wi-Fi and an alarm if he comes back to life. But my dad wanted to be cremated, so I was like, what's the point of this shit, you know? This is gonna last less than an Instagram story. Yeah, it's 24 hours. So I was like, what am I supposed to do, you know? You're supposed to get the cheap one, the expensive one? And I didn't know what to do. Once again, I was in shock. I was like in a blur. And my dad like came to me like Mufasa in The Lion King from the sky. And he was like, the cheapest one. And turn off the lights. And I was like, of course, it's the cheapest one, that makes more sense. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the cheapest one. But then I started thinking like, what I'm doing, like, what people gonna think about me, People are gonna show up at the funeral, and be like, look at this motherfucker. Look at this cheap motherfucker. Have his dad in 7 Ziploc bags. How is that even possible? So I still don't know what to do. I have him in the car in the meantime. I think next week I'm gonna decide. And I miss the Catholic Church so much. You know, I miss like God.
And I feel that because of this,
I feel it was so easy to raise a kid with the Catholic Church, because you know when you have a child,
try to teach him.
that he have to be a good person is so hard. You know, but when you are Catholic, it's like you have to be good, or you're gonna go to hell. You know, you don't have to explain morals and shit. You have to be like, you have to be good, or you're gonna die in fucking hell with Hitler right next to you, jerking off. You don't want that, so just be good. But my generation was like, no, that's bullshit. You know, like Jesus Christ, that's stupid. You know, we believe in the horoscope. How am I supposed to teach a kid to be a good person with astrology? You know? It's like behave or you're gonna date a Virgo. And those are the worst of the worst. You know what I hate about the Catholic Church is like, I remember when I was a kid, they were always like, don't watch movies because they're too violent, or don't watch TV because it's too violent. And just come to the church where there's a man crucified, bleeding, and his mom is watching him crying. It's like it's a very like aggressive thing for a child, you know. And why all why? This is the thing. It's like Jesus Christ was alive for 33 years, but all the pictures of him is from the last 4 days. He's always bleeding and suffering. There's not a picture of him at the beach for a weekend, like having a good time. You know, like this is something I'm jealous about, like the American culture. Like my wife's family, they're also Catholics, and they're from Texas, and they have pictures of Jesus Christ with a machine gun, playing golf, you know, with Donald Trump. I mean, that's not in the Bible, but at least he's having some fun, you know? So it's like he's suffering so much. I'm concerned about the future. I'm concerned about the future, of course, because, I mean, I feel like everything is just, it's gonna disappear. Like, anyone here have a job? That's gonna be gone forever. Like, the idea of a job, it's just like I mean, I was asking people the other night, like, anyone have a job that's gonna disappear because of AI? And someone said to me, I work as Elmo in Times Square. And I was like, you'll be fine. I don't think machines want to do that shit. Honestly, I was like, I went back home, I was like to my kid, you should learn that shit. That's the future. And I have to say, I hate these AIs because I remember like in movies when there was like a AI that was about to take over the world, they have cool names. Remember like Skynet from Terminator? It was a cool name. You want to be killed by Skynet. But the one who's going to kill is called ChatGPT. We all going to be gone because of ChatGPT. I hate that. I hate this thing. I hate when people say like AI is going to take our jobs because I'm an immigrant and that's my thing. I'm here to take your jobs. Just call me Juan GPT. I hate that joke so much. But it works because you guys are racist. And that's part of the magic. Just for tonight. You know, also, what I hate is like, I was for many years, I was like, these motherfuckers who have bitcoins, they're gonna go down. And for a couple of years, they were like losing so much money, and I was so happy. And I was like, everyone who have bitcoins are gonna go to jail. And I was just so happy. I was like, I'm right, I have paper. I'm an old-fashioned man, I have fucking paper. And now, yeah, it looks like Bitcoin was the thing to have. I feel so upset because I always hated Bitcoin. Because when I was in my country and I was making any amount of money, people was like, well, it's not real money, those are pesos. You know, you have to make a bleep coin or I don't know, like all these fake coins. And I was like, why you keep making my life harder? You know, I wanna make like dollars. I just wanna make like that green paper. And no, people not Dutch coins, and I was like, why? And you know, like I prefer pesos Because pesos is like crypto before crypto. It's like money with a bunch of zeros that worth nothing. I prefer that 100%, It's like pesos is the best because pesos is like this. You go to a store and you're like, hi, I have 5,000 million pesos. Give me a Coke and nothing else. That's all I can afford with this shit. But what I really hate is TikTok. I hate TikTok so much because it's so well done. You guys heard TikTok? Oh, it's so good. They know you so well. They know you and you know your darkest secrets. Because TikTok send you a bunch of videos, I don't know, like a little cat dancing and, some old people doing some crazy shit. And then a car accident. And if you stay in that car accident for an extra nanosecond, they know that you're fucked inside. That deep down your brain, you enjoyed that shit. So they save that information in a folder in Beijing forever. They know that shit. They know that. And everyone is like, oh, it's because the algorithm is so good. The algorithm. There's no algorithm. I think there's a Chinese person per account. They love slavery over there. So I think each TikTok account comes with a Chinese dude at the other side of the planet that wakes up every morning and he's like, oh, you're gonna love this one. And he sends you these videos because he's your friend, he's your guy. He's working for you. He wants you to have a good time. And I have to admit that my favorite thing to do on TikTok is rejecting the content. It feels so good to be like, no. There's something about doing this is like, no. I feel like not good enough. And my favorite thing to reject are these videos when people put a lot of effort. These people work really hard in their content, like they rehearse a song with their family. They put the camera in the front yard, and they go like, here we go, 3, 2, 1. I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, fuck you, your family, bye. Feels so good. So good. And the saddest part is like when it's 4 a.m. in the morning and you're there with your phone, the only light in the house is this light in your face, and you're still there, like, no. Still acting like a king, You feel like, not good enough. Try again, Chinese man. And he's at the other side of the world like, I'm 12. He was a child the whole time. I think once again, this country is like becoming more Latino in certain ways, and one of them is like, it's not kind of weird that people start watching soccer at the same time they start voting for Trump. Do you think it's kind of weird, because people are watching a lot of soccer now in this country, like more and more every year, and I'm sure they're gonna ruin soccer. They're gonna find a way to put a halftime show during the finals of the World Cup. We're all gonna be watching Usher dancing. Actually, and this is true, like they're gonna start changing some rules to appeal to the U.S. audience, like FIFA, the people who organize these things. They wanna like change the referees instead of having like the yellow card or the red card. They're gonna have a gun. So anytime there's something going on in the field, it's gonna be, I'm gonna fucking murder you if you try that shit again. Once again, I feel like I'm becoming more American, and I don't like it. But it's happening, Like like the other day, I was driving, and I was driving in LA actually, and my car broke, and there was a light in the panel, there was a little light in the panel, and like when the car have a light, but there's no explanation about what's going on in the car. It's just like a light telling you like, I'm not feeling well. But there's no more, It's like the car telling you like, help. But now it's your problem. You figure it out. So I did what any normal person will do, just ignore this light. And kept driving for months with this car just like, screaming for help. Just every time I turned on the car was like so many messages telling like, help me, just please take me to a doctor, I just need help. And I was just like, okay, just kept driving. Like nothing was going on, ignoring his pain. And one day the light were blinking, there was noise, and I was okay, I have to take it to a place. So I took this car to this garage, and there was this white old American man, like completely like completely dry, like no. And he looked at me, and I was about to pay him with my Chilean credit card. And he looked at my card, and he's like, oh, I love your country. And I was like, probably he's thinking about the restaurant, Chili's. I'm pretty sure he's thinking, they're doing so well that now they have a country. And now, I was like, no, you shouldn't be like that, you know? You try to be open. No, I was like, okay, thank you so much. And he was like, no, I really love your country. And he proved me wrong. He was like, I really love the Andes mountain chain. I really love the Easter Island. He went to specifics. He was like, I really love the Chilean wine. And I was like, yeah, I was wrong, you know? This guy is a nice person. He can be at the other side, but still, we can be friends. And he kept going, you know? He was like, I love Chile. I love the seafood from there. And I was like, wow, that's great. And then he said this. He's like, what I really love about Chile is Pinochet. And for the ones who don't know, Pinochet was a dictator that killed thousands of people during 17 years of regime. This is like if you met someone from Germany and you're like, you know what I love about Germany? Exactly that. So I was about to say something, you know, but he kept going, you know? He was like, I really love Chile. I really love your country. I really love Pinochet. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to give you a discount. And that's when I realized that I'm becoming more American. Because I have to choose between standing by the people of my country and their history of pain and a 20% discount. So now my car is working perfectly. But there's a light in the panel that says traitor. But I tried to ignore it as much as I could. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to 800 Pound Gorilla's Album of the Week podcast. Tune in every Thursday wherever you listen to podcasts and find us on your favorite social platforms.